is working, I hope. Good. Pop out the chat. Okay, alright, so we're going to get rid of that chat box, and we're going to get rid of, that should all be working fine. And I'm hoping that is working. It is good, it is, excellent, so we will go over here. And the sound's coming through, fantastic. Okay, so just give me a second. I will get started in just a minute. I'm going to try to track the chat through my phone. This is essentially so that I can actually just have the screen for the website up while I'm doing this live stream. And if I do it that way, I'm hoping that'll mean that I can I won't cover up bits and pieces of the screen that you'll need to see. If my phone decides to actually shift orientation, there we go. Can I actually see chat on the phone? That's the question. Will I see any chat window? Live chat. Oh, well, there we go. There's the live chat, so I can track my live chat with my phone while I'm doing this. Well, that's awesome news. I'm so happy. Look, put your questions in the chat, and I won't obviously respond to them straight away. I'll do that near the end. How's it going, Swig or Swig Lord? So yeah, just put your questions in, and if I don't respond to you straight away, it's because I just want to get through and show you the website as best I can, and then I'll come back to your questions because I can now track the chat with my phone, and I'll try to keep the actual window for the chat off the screen so it doesn't block your vision. Okay, so this is going to go from about 9:30 AM New Zealand Standard Time, and we'll keep going right through to, I would say, no longer than 10:30 New Zealand Standard Time. That's AM, that is. So let's get started. Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about D&D Beyond, or Dungeons and Dragons Beyond. This is an online website. It's a digital tool source, and it's licensed by Curse. Curse has got a license from Wizards of the Coast to actually run this thing. Now, I have already done a very short review, which I pre-recorded, which I will release later. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous and strange, but I've done it for a reason. I wanted to test the whole system, and then I thought, okay, I've done that review. I'm not going to redo it as a live stream or anything like that. I'm actually going to do like a workshop and take you through the website and show you where everything is and what it does. So the first thing is, to use this website, you literally will need to have a Twitch account. So if you don't have a Twitch account, you need to set one up. It's not very hard to do. You should have no problems figuring it out. It asks for your name, your email address, things like that. So it's a piece of cake to set up. No issues whatsoever. After that, you just jump on the website, log in. You can see right up here, it's listing my name. I've got a profile, an account, and it basically just, it's like any other website. And you've got a couple of options here. All of my content is listed here. So characters, campaigns, any homebrew content that I might create is listed here, and I can actually access other people's homebrew content, which is pretty awesome. It has a character section, so you can have up to 6 characters or 6 character slots with a free option for this website. Beyond that, if you want more options or more character slots, you want to build more than 6 characters, you have to pay. And I'll go through the pay options pretty shortly. I don't want to sort of leave that out because it's an important factor. So your characters are listed here. You can go to your character builder. There's 3 different parts to the character builder. I'm not going to go through the whole thing today, but I'm going to show you the gist of it. It gives you pretty much all the races and classes, backgrounds, feats. They're all here. It's got a rules compendium. It breaks it down into index, basic rules, and rules you might find in other resources. And all the adventures are here. Spells, so you can access the spells. You can make your own content. You can access other people's homebrew content. There's an items section for magic items, standard items. You can create your own magic items, and you can access other people's homebrew content. Monsters, monster list, same sort of thing as everything else. And then there's a marketplace where it explains the cost of pretty much using everything, which is where we're going to go pretty shortly. The forum here is essentially used for telling you about news on the website. You can discuss stuff with other people. I think it's like the new Dungeons and Dragons or Wizards of the Coast forum page, because that's what it seems to look like right now. And you can ask for support if you're having problems. You go there for seek support, and you can give feedback on the website. So let's go straight to the marketplace, because really it's the price factor that we need to discuss right now. So I'm going to click on marketplace, and it should be loading. Here we go. All right, so right now you just saw the figure legendary bundle, $335.21. This is basically, if you don't get all of these options, you can't access every single thing on the website. You only get access to the core basic rules that are free as the PDF and the SRD. So that means, as a result, there's a lot of expense involved to use this website if you're not just using free content. Now, don't freak out, because I still feel like there is benefits to using this website, just not necessarily in the way that they have labeled it, because that looks really expensive to buy all of these resources. Now I'm going to roll it down here, and it breaks it down into the cost. I feel like you're almost literally buying the Xanathar's Guide to Everything, the digital form of it, and it's not a PDF. None of this is PDF. Okay, this is literally just a license to access their stuff on their website, just by the prices. Okay, you can see what's going on here. I'm rolling down. Hopefully you're not freaking out too much, but it's extremely expensive to use this stuff and all the content. Even the player's handbook, you can't use all the content in the player's handbook, simply because you have to pay for it. So if you already got the player's handbook as a hard copy, this is really going to ruffle your feathers. So only stuff that you're going to be able to access is the SRD and the basic rules. Now you can go into one of these and have a look at the different options. So I'm going to go back to the player's handbook, because let's get real, if you're going to buy anything off here, you'll probably be doing that. So let's view the purchasing options. You can buy the entire thing, or you can buy sections of it, which sounds crazy. So it's broken down into individual packages. So Arcane Trickster, you pay like $1.99 to buy just the Arcane Trickster, because of course you don't get all of the archetypes or all the subclasses with the basic rules or the SRD. So as you can see, you can also purchase some of the backgrounds. Not all of the backgrounds are included in the free version. I'm not going to keep rolling through here, but you get the gist of it. It's basically like $2 to get other bits that aren't there. The drow, if you want the drow, you need to pay for it to access it on this website. So there's one of the big issues. Now you don't have to buy and purchase the use of this website through that means. You can use the other option, which is the subscription. So I want to show you the subscription, because I think this is going to make it really clear to you what your options are. Nobody likes to pay an ongoing subscription to something. I personally find it annoying, and I'm sure somebody else is going to just freak out. But before you get completely blown away and terrified, I want to show you what's going on here. So first of all, if you pay for the hero tier, there's a master and a hero tier. The hero tier here, monthly, it's going to be like $3 a month. It's $15 if you pay semi-annually, which I believe is like 6 monthly. So every half year you pay your fee. If you pay for the entire year, you're paying like $26. Now the master, which gives you more access and allows you to do a lot more, that's got a different pay schedule, and you can see it here. It's $6 for a month, it's $30 for 6 months, and a year it's like $55. So what's the difference between the hero tier and the master tier? Okay, all right, so you don't get ads. Whether you use the hero tier or the master tier, no ads are going to be running. With the free version, you're going to have to deal with ads on the actual website. Truthfully, every website has ads. I can deal with that. So what is the difference? Well, you get unlimited access to character slots for the hero tier and the master tier. I can probably deal with just having 6 characters on the website. I mean, how many characters do I need? And then what's next? For the hero tier, you can add publicly shared homebrew content to your collection. So if somebody else makes something that you like, you can pull it into your collection so you can access it with your tools. Okay, right, well, I suppose that's one way of seeing it, but couldn't I just like make what somebody else has made? It should be pretty obvious. We'll have a look very shortly to see if that's possible. With the master tier, that allows you access to all of the official content. So in other words, you get access to everything, all that content, all the player's handbook, the monster manual, the dungeon master's guide, all of the content you can access and unlocks the whole lot. It also allows you, like, I think it's like 3 campaigns, and you can open up your website and your link to this website to other people. So if you've got a group of like 6 or 7 players, they can have access as well. So here's what's breaking it down. Free tier, hero tier, master tier. Let's have a look at the differences here. So site and tools. So the difference between the free and the paid versions is you have to deal with ads. Okay, that's fine. I'll deal with the ads, but it has access to everything else that the hero tier and the master tier has. Okay, keeping going. Next, characters. As I said, you get only 6 character slots. With the other pay versions, you get unlimited. Well, I can deal with that too. You can still export a character sheet. You can still print it. You can still view your character sheet with a free version. Back here, homebrew content. So I can create homebrew content for my private use. I can share my homebrew content publicly with other people. I just can't use somebody else's homebrew content with the free version, but with the others, with the paid version, I can. Okay, fine. All right, campaigns. I can create my own campaign, and I can join a campaign with the free version. What I can't do is share unlocked official content with other people with the free version. I have to actually pay for that, and you have to pay for the master tier. The hero tier won't get you that. I feel like the hero tier is just, all it really does is unlock more characters, and that's about the gist of it, not much more. It's the master tier that really gives you all the things you want. Okay, so there it is. There's the pay schedule. I totally understand people's concern about the price. Personally, I wouldn't pay for it. No, I wouldn't. I already have a lot of these books. I don't want to pay for this. If you've got Fantasy Grounds and you've paid for content on there, or you've gone and you've paid for Roll20's content, why would you even bother with this? Okay, so, oh my gosh. So let's go and have a look at my content. Let's get the bad taste out of our mouth. We'll go over here. So there's a section for my content. Breaks it down into characters, campaigns, and homebrew collection. So first of all, I'm going to go to characters. This will list any character that I've created. So I have gone through and I've made 2 characters, and I can view them. You can view them, you can edit them, you can delete them, you can print them out. I'll pull it up right now. I'll pull up this one here. One of the things I noticed is when you're creating a character, it seems to give you, well, you think you're getting everything you need, but you don't. You do actually have to do some work. You'll have to go back through and add your character detail. So things like personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. So if I go here, they're empty. That's not there because I actually have to do that manually. You can't just automatically, even with the quick character builder or the random one, you just can't build this section in straight away. You have to actually go and do it. You've got to get hands on with things. So it gives you basically all that information there, which is great. Fine. All right. So let's go back. If I want to use this character and do something like print it out, which I can, I'll show you that later, I think, because I don't want to go over the character builder too much. I want to get into the content section. There's a campaign section, which I don't actually have a campaign built, so you won't be able to see very much right now. Homebrew collection. Because I'm not paying for anything, the only thing you're going to find here are the things I've built. So I've made a monster, a Chydra, which is like a 3-headed giant chicken that breathes fire. And then an ice ball, which is basically I've taken the fireball spell and turned it into an ice blast of some kind. I can show you these if you like. I'll just open up the Chydra and it should give it a second. There you go. So it's got the same format and layout as your normal monsters from the monster manual. Adds at the top as always, but it's got the same layout, and actually it's pretty cool. It looks great. This is the sort of stuff you would normally have had to use a different application or software package, and I always found them to be really clunky and annoying. But this is actually really, really nice if you are using a pre-made character and just adjusting it. If you have to build it all yourself, it doesn't walk you through the process, so it's a little bit annoying. So there is some of my homebrew content, a monster. I'll show you the ice ball as well. So I only made 2 things. I didn't really have time to go through and spend a whole lot of time building everything for you. So it's pretty simple. It gives you all your details that you need. You make adjustments, you can edit it. Fairly easy, not too difficult to do. Now I just need to, oh, I forgot to change the damage effect. It should have been ice rather than fire. I changed everything else. Never mind, we can come back and edit that later. Alright, so that's content. Now homebrew collections is mine, but creations, when you go here, this is just going to list what you've got. Now this will be not just your stuff, but somebody else's stuff if you've actually had access to that sort of stuff. You know, if you can actually access it, great. Right, let's go to the character builder. I'm going to go to character builder right now. So there are 3 different ways of building a character. You can go randomized, where you create a character of any level, and you randomly assign the stats to it. It pretty much puts all the parameters in that you might require. There's a quick build option, which means you just go straight for level 1, and then you just add in your race, your class, and it does most of the stuff that you need, but not everything. Then there is the standard creation of a character, where you have to make choices, and there's a step-by-step approach. Now I think this here is probably ideal for beginners. If you don't have time, go for the quick builds and then just sort of tidy things up as best you can. So I'm not going to go through these right now because it would just take too long. I'm going to come back to these. I actually feel like this is another video. If I would go through these, it would just take too long. So we'll just leave them, unless of course near the end of my presentation people want to go back to the character builder and I'll do stuff on that. Right, races. So with the races, it just gives you a breakdown of the different races. So here they are, and you can view them. So I can view the details. Gives me a page on the Aarakocra. The Aarakocra is free content, so you can see all this stuff. Good, fantastic. Right down to the traits. Awesome. Let's go back. not every single race is going to be available to you because they're not all part of the SRD, are they? So the Furbold. If I go to the Furbold, this is not content that is free. I have to pay for it. So I go to a page where it says I have to pay. Alright, so we're going back. So there's the races. So you can access information on the races. Nothing wrong with that. Classes, we go to all the classes now. Now you're going to get access to pretty much everything when it comes to the classes. The only hassle is accessing some of the subclasses for those particular classes. So you don't get access to all of them. So it gives you the details on the Barbarian. I'm scrolling through. All that information is there. You run, and actually it's got links, active links. You can go over to animal handling and it'll explain what animal handling is. If I go over here, it will go over and explain. I can go to a page or a section that explains how rage works. It just takes me to that section in the actual page, which I thought was a nice feature. It's pretty cool. Right down here, all the bottom, and of course you only get the Path of the Berserker. That's the only free content for the Barbarian. Not so bad, I guess. I guess that's what we sort of were getting before, and we can't expect everything to be free, but yeah. Alright, so backgrounds. We go to official backgrounds. Now, as I said, you can't access every single thing. And the easiest way to see if you can access it is, you see here under Acolyte, it says basic rules. This is free content. This Anthropologist, Tomb of Annihilation, I'd have to pay for this. So I can't go and access that, unfortunately. I'll go and click on the Acolyte. I think that's a good feature. At least you know what you can access and what you can't. And it gives you the details on the Acolyte, which is part of the free content. I'll go back. But all of the backgrounds are here. But yet again, you know, you do have to pay for that content if you want to access it. That's one of the drawbacks. So that's the backgrounds. Now the feats, I think there's like one feat that's freely available. You can't access any more than that. Everything else is part of the player's handbook or Xanathar's guide to everything. So if you wanted access to feats on this website, it's just not going to happen. So here we go. I saw basic rules. The Grappler. The Grappler feat is the only free option that you can access, which means that when you're building your character and you want to use feats, that's the only feat that you can add into your character when you build it. Now that's a problem. You can create your own feats, so you could manually go in and create the feats that are in the player's handbook and put them into the website as your own homebrew content. Well, I think you could. You might get into trouble. Who knows? Maybe you will. Maybe you will get in trouble. I'm not entirely sure. But there's all the stuff around the character. So the rules compendium, go to the index. As I said, it gives you access to pretty much everything. This just tells you, okay, you've got to go and pay for a whole lot of stuff. That's the index section. But if we go to the basic rules, you get the basic rules online, which you could get as a PDF anyway. So it gives all of that information. It's broken down into categories. Easy enough to find. Great, fine, lovely. SRDs covered. Adventures, if you want to access any of the adventures. I mean, I can click one on, but they're all pay. You know, you can't access anything unless you pay for it. And I feel like $15 for the Lost Mine of Phandelver is almost exactly the same price as the Dungeons & Dragons starter set when you buy the physical box. So why is it so expensive? Well, probably because Wizards of the Coast is charging such a high fee to Curse for the license to be able to have this website in the first place. That's what I would suspect. Alright, let's go to spells. So one of the things you will notice about the spells is it's actually a pretty good page. You get all of the spells, they're all listed here, and you'll notice that you can use filters. So you can type in the spell name if you want, you can put in a spell level and do a search that way, spell tags if you know what the tag might be. If there's a particular casting time, you can punch that in and then hit your filter button and away you go. But it also breaks it down, not just to all the spells, but you can just search through the Bard spells. So I click the Bard section and all I'm going to get is all the spells for the Bard. That's handy. or the druid, or the cleric, or the wizard. Obviously the wizard would be high priority because you've got so many spells to access, and it's just going to list you all of the spells for the wizard. Does that mean I can access every single thing here? Can I actually see the stuff? Well, as it happens, it does appear to be the case. This is from the Elemental Evil Player's Companion, which is free content. You can get that. So there's no problem accessing that. I haven't actually tested every single spell. I went through most of them, and I kind of felt like obviously most of the spells are freely available. I would imagine that things from Xanathar's Guide that aren't part of free content will probably be ones that would cause problems. But it does sort of break it right down into all the things you might need, which is, it's kind of cool. Arcane Hand, we'll go here, and you can see the spell. And of course you can access it with your character, which is good. There's also a section, like I said, for actually creating a spell. So let's go there, because I'm sure somebody at some point is going to offer some sort of tool or application. I know there already are people who offer tools and applications for building your own spell, but you can do this here. So this is actually quite cool. So you can go to the school of magic that you want to create. So we'll go evocation, and I like to burn stuff, guys. And let's find a spell that's sort of evocation-y. I think Cloud Call would Cone of Cold. That's like energy. And now you can create it from scratch, or you can create it from the existing spell. I feel like going from the existing spell is much easier. Otherwise, it's just going to cause you hassles. So click here, real quick. Hopefully it'll bring it up. So here it is, and it's giving you a copy, and you just go through and you edit all these fields. If you do it from scratch, I feel completely lost. And then you can save the changes here. So it's not a bad tool for this. You can use this for free, and you can edit it. So if you wanted to use your laptop or your tablet and access the website, or your desk computer, you can build spells to your heart's content and have them accessible. And I like this idea. I think this is really, really helpful. Let's go to magic items. So the magic items list, we'll just punch that in. And what do we got? So it breaks it down. It's got a filter like all the rest of the other tools. So you can punch in the magic item name, or you can put in the rarity, the type of attunement it might require, tags, whether these are +1, +2, or +3, bonus to it. It breaks it down into armor, potions, rings, rods, scrolls, staff, wand, weapon, wondrous items, all that sort of stuff. So I can select any of these, and yes, pretty much all of this is accessible. There, I have clicked on and found certain items that I can't access because it's in the Dungeon Master's Guide, and it will not allow me access. So the longsword, I can access. It's part of the basic rules. But if I go back and I access something that isn't part of that, I'm pretty sure this isn't. Okay, here we go. Whoops. So here it is, and oh, it is part of the basic rules as well. I'm sure there was one that wasn't. There are some that aren't, and therefore when you click them on, you'll find you can't gain access to them because they're not part of the basic rules. Here we go. Here's one. So if I want to access that particular magic item, I actually have to go and pay for content. And you don't necessarily have to go and pay for the entire content. You can just go and buy that particular magic item. Oh, yeah. It feels like micromanagement, micro pay fees. I don't like micro pay fees. Nobody does. But it's such a common thing nowadays. So there it is. And you can create your own magic items. I'm not going to do that right now because it's the same process as it was for the spell. I'm going to go to monsters. Click on the monsters list. I can access just about every single monster. The one monster that I really wanted to have access to, I couldn't get access to, and I'll explain to you why. So it shows you under the monster section, unlike the spell section. The spell section, you might have noticed, didn't actually necessarily tell you whether the content was stuff that you have access to freely, or whether you have to pay for it. And the same with the magic items. but the monster section actually does break that down and makes it a lot easier. So I know this is a monster manual content. So if I click on the Aarakocra, I got to pay. All right, so that's, at least I know it's listed here. So the aboleth is basic rule, so I can access that. But anything else that's got, you know, Tomb of Annihilation, I can't access. And these, I'll click on one of these so you can actually see what it looks like, because I thought it was quite cool. It's all laid out just like the monster manual. It's got the details there. It doesn't give you all of the description though. You might have noticed that there's not all that detail you get in the monster manual that you kind of need sometimes. And if I click on the little speaker here, yes, you got Matthew Mercer or Marisha Ray telling you how to pronounce the monster. Fine, it's an interesting feature, but this is not like you're getting the monster manual. Even the free content doesn't have all that description information. So we'll go back, and yes, I'm going to punch in here a monster that most people want access to, which is not freely available, and of course you won't be able to get it. The Beholder. The Beholder is monster manual content and you have to pay for it, but you can go through there and pay for it individually and pay your $2. Alright, so there's monsters, and creating a monster is really awesome. I really enjoyed going through and using a pre-existing monster that was freely available and making adjustments, or you can do it from scratch. So that is the whole gist of it. I mean, it's not a terrible product, but there are things that drive me away from paying for stuff, particularly the sheer cost of it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a drink of water, I'm going to do my sign out, and then we're going to have a discussion. We've got about half an hour left. I've gone long, I apologize. It's a big website, there's a lot to show you, and I haven't even shown you as much as I could have. So if you found this content interesting or helpful, please share or like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I do videos every single day, so you should find some content that you find useful at some point. There's bound to be something. If you want to support my channel, you can do that by watching the videos. I've got more videos. As I said, they come out every single day, and you can watch those to your heart's content. Some are short, some are long. If you want to support my channel seriously though, if you buy things online, there's usually an affiliate link down in the description, and you can click on there. You pay nothing extra. So if you're buying online like Amazon, I haven't got any other affiliate links at present, just Amazon. But if you click on there, you pay the same price you would normally pay from buying online, and I get a small commission. And you support my channel doing that. And when you click on that link, you don't even have to buy the item that I have listed. You can go somewhere else after you click that link on, buy something else, and I get a small commission, and you pay the same price. And that helps me continue doing videos like this. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to open it up for questions in a second. If you have questions when I publish this and it becomes released and it's not part of the live stream, in the comments, ask questions about D&D Beyond. I'll do my best to answer those questions, because I'm going to use this tool. I'm going to use the free version. I'm not going to pay for anything, but I will definitely be using it, and I'll be showing more of it as I can, and as I sort of get time to do that. Until next time, keep rolling those 20s. All right. Just a drink of water. It is time to go through this chat tool on my phone and see what I need to respond to and what people want me to actually cover. Okay, so what have we got here? Brother Ben Muffle. Hi, hope live chat works. Well, live chat does work. It is working. If you're seeing this, it's working. Okay, Nottingham, hit that like button. You are correct. Yes, please hit that like button. That means you get more of these live streams, and I can do pretty much all the cool looking websites now that allow dungeon masters and players to do all sorts of cool things online. I can sort of do a workshop or a presentation for that. Brother Ben Manuel, do you have anything to say about the custom weapons? I'm trying to design one. I actually haven't looked at that section, so I could create a magic item. Let's go right there now. Okay, I think that's probably a sensible thing to do. Let's go, we want to make a weapon, armor, potions, rods, weapons, there we go. And then custom weapon, let's go with a custom long sword. And we're going to create that. I'm not going to go from scratch. I kind of feel like that would be a real hassle. All right, creating a copy of the magic item. Well, that's good to know. So now I have to go through and I need to call it something. So we need a name for this thing. We're going to call it the flaming spur. I don't know. Does the flaming spur mean anything? This is version 1. Version 1. It's uncommon, so it's probably only going to have a +1 bonus. I think that's probably good enough. I think most weapons beyond that just going to get a bit too powerful. Does it require attunement? Yes. I think stipulating that it requires attunement is a very sensible thing to do. The type, what type of... No, you can't access these sections. So why is that? I've clicked on magic item type. It's a field that's got a star beside it, so it would sort of suggest that I have to do something with it. Enter the magic item attunement description. What? Okay, alright, so it's got a... Okay, enter additional details regarding attuning to magic item. Example, magic item name, staff of fire, requires attunement, true attunement description, druid, sorcerer. Well, no, I just want it to have attunement. I don't really want to restrict it to a particular class. I don't think that's sort of very helpful. It's a standard magical sword. No. Now we want it to cause fire damage. That does fire damage. So rather than slashing, we're going to go with fire. It's more like a lightsaber. Okay. Alright, so we've got that in. And then, of course, you can go in here and add additional bits and pieces to it. I'm not going to worry about doing that. It'll take me too long. I can add modifiers to it if I want to add a modifier. Well, I suppose, why not? Is it going to add a plus something to it? Add a modifier. No, I want to stay on the page. Stay on the page. I don't quite understand what's going on there. Conditions. We'll save it. Prevent this page from creating additional dialog box. So I've got to go to an additional dialog box. Prevents this page from creating a... yeah, I don't want to go to additional dialog box. I just want to open up wherever it is it's taking me and let's see what this does. Okay, creating a home... Alright, fine. Let's just get rid of this. I don't really need to know about that. So where's my magic item? My flaming spear is here. Basic information. Required. Fields. Yeah, I feel like it doesn't walk you through the process as well as I would have liked. So what do I think of creating anything on here? There's a bit of work involved. It's not really straightforward. You do have to sort of go back and forth and check stuff. And so there's one of the things I would say is not great about designing and customizing your own weapons. Okay, so Tommy, the costs had everyone concerned right from the start. Well, I agree, Tommy, you're right. Mike, Fantasy Grounds has more to offer than this and costs less. I agree. I think you're exactly right. They're supposed to be trying to open up additional tools so you can do use the tools on Twitter, not Twitter, on Twitch TV. So you can, play your games on Twitch TV and use the tools. So it'll be a lot like Fantasy Grounds and Roll20, but they haven't got it yet. It doesn't seem to be available as far as I can tell, unless of course I'm missing something. Bromos, hi all. Yes, how's it going? Yes. Nottingham, you're right. Transactions have gone completely wild. Movie Man Lucas, I wish this with something. Does this offer a table of top tool? And if not, what use is it? Well, Mike, I think that honestly, I wouldn't say there's a top tool. I think you just need to go through and decide what pieces are the best to use. I think the character builder for the free content is good. I think that stuff like the spell creation, item creation, monster creation are all very cool, and I would use them. Movie Man Lucas, I wish this website existed when the book came out originally. Well, yes, it should have. And the books could have had like a code inside it. That's exactly right. I think that's really what would have been the most sensible thing to do, is to have a code. No code, why would you even bother? It doesn't make sense. Unfortunately, they haven't done that. And I don't understand why. So I'm just having a quick look through my live chat. It seems to have gone very, very quiet. So I'm just going to just see if maybe my phone is not up to date. Is my phone not up to date? The pop-out is doing something. All right. Yes. All right. So I'm just going to plonk this over here. And then I can just check what I've got in terms of comments. It looks like most of the comments have been dealt with. And unless anybody else has any more questions and want me to go anywhere else, I probably won't do too much more. What I will do is I will sort of open up a character so you can have a look at some of that instead. So yes, we'll just minimize that for now. We do seem to be caught up with everybody. So let's go and have a look at something like the character builder, which I think is actually not bad. You know, considering you only get free content, it's still got some pluses to it. So the randomized one is, I'm going to go to the quick build. I feel like the randomized just got me confused. I would have been better off just using the standard build system. So quick build. Okay, that was pretty quick, and we just pick a race, and we can access. Now it gives you. We're going to get access to the player's rules, the Elemental Evil Player's Companion, and some of the content from the player's handbook. This is the SRD content, okay? So I can go through here and pick something. So let's pick like a, what are we going to pick? We've got a human variant, human. I don't like humans. Let's go with a Goliath, and then we're going to pick a class. We'll go with a barbarian. And look, you can type your own name in here when you're creating your character, but you don't need to. You could just decide, well, I'll just not worry about that and let them create the name and go create character. So it's now creating a character. Voila. Here it comes. Bingo. Right. Where's my character? Oh, it's not there. Okay, so view character sheet. We can go back, and I will go back so you can sort of see how it sort of lays it out. So here's a character, and it doesn't give me the little image. I have to go in there and do that myself. And this was the quick build option. So it's not like it does absolutely everything. It's given me a name that I didn't bother putting a name in. It's got a great axe, a hand axe, and a javelin. Okay, that's fine. And as I said, most of the information is there. I feel like it's not all there. That's the only hassle with this. So when you go and you do this sort of thing, you'll find that you still have to do some adjustments. So let's go back. Is it going to go back? All right. Okay. So you can then go through this particular character from the very, very beginning, from the home page, and you can add an image for the character. So it was a Goliath. I want a Goliath picture. So let's find a Goliath. Here we go, and apply the Goliath image. We've got a name. We can go through and we can change the advancement process from milestones to XP if we want. Yes, confirm. And then if we want to use encumbrance, yes, we'll use encumbrance. No, don't like that idea. Or we can use a variant encumbrant rule. So we'll go no encumbrance. And then hit points. How is it going to level up as you go? Well, you can go with fixed, or you can manually do that yourself. Right now I can add my homebrew content into it. I can show my unarmed strike if I want. So if I'm going to do something that doesn't involve the weapon, that's already built into the character, which is not bad. It's not too bad. Then you go through your race section. If there's things you want to adjust that you didn't like, sometimes with the Dragonborn, with the Dragon Breath, you need to sort of change and select the heritage that you had. Classes, you can go through the classes and have a look at all the details regarding your class. There's not much to do with that. Abilities, it's already done. You know, it's just used standard array, but you can go through and decide, look, I want to adjust that now. Even though I did a quick build, I'm going to use the point by, or I'm going to do a manual adjustment. So you can do all of those if you want to. Description gives me a description of my background and some of the information on my character. I can look at my equipment here. So I've got 3 active items, so I have a look at what they are. So great axe, hand axe, javelin. My inventory, I can see what's in my inventory. We'll just close that up, and then we'll go inventory, and it tells me what's in my inventory. This is all sort of starting gear. This is sort of the standard kit, that sort of stuff. So you don't have to worry about doing that. And if you want to go and export the character, there's a print export character sheet option. So you just click here, and that will bring up another page where you get basically an online PDF, and then you just hit the print button, and it will print it out. But you'll see when you look at it, it doesn't give you a breakdown of absolutely everything. It doesn't tell you exactly all the details around rage or unarmored defense or your racial. You've got it. It's just a note form. Okay, it's very stripped down. It doesn't have all those details you might want on the character sheet. And of course, you've got to go in there and add your personality traits, ideals, bonds, flaws, things like that. All the skills, the saving throws, the modifiers for your abilities, that's all done. Yeah, and yeah, you still do at least have some of the work has been done, but not all of it. There's still a bit of tinkering to be done. We'll close that up. Okay. I haven't had any more questions from anybody so far, but we've got about 15 minutes left, so let's go and have a look at some of the other stuff regarding this particular piece of software. I'm going to go here to, I like the monsters section. I want to go to the monsters section rather than the spells section. I mean, I can go there if I wanted to. Let's go to the forums. I haven't actually opened up the forums. We'll have a look inside forums. Okay, so right now you can see in front of you news and announcements, D&D Beyond feedback, if you want to give feedback on the particular website. Any bugs that you might want to dispose of, if you've noticed bugs, you can let them know. There's general discussion, streaming and videos, there's a section on that, story and lore, arts and craft. They've tried to build a community around the website, which I think is actually a good thing. I think it was a quite sensible thing to do. There's tactics and tips. I looked through the tactics and tips section. There's a little bit there, not an awful lot. Rules and game mechanics are discussed. Dungeon Masters only. This is like a section for dungeon masters to hang out and do their thing. Homebrew and house rules are discussed. D&D Adventure League. So this is like the old Wizards of the Coast or Dungeons and Dragons forum page. I feel like that's what it's like. And then it lists you a whole lot of administrators who are online, new members, stuff like that. So yeah, useful to some degree. Let's go to monsters. I want to create a monster. It's one of the things that Dungeon Masters like to do is create monsters. Players like to create characters and Dungeon Masters like to create monsters. Now I was trying to think of a monster that I would like to create, and I thought, well, if you're going to create anything, why not go with something like a enormous rat? I know that sounds crazy. So what is close enough to a giant enormous rat that I can use? The boulette, I kind of feel like the boulette is probably the one I want to go for. I don't know if I can necessarily access the boulette though. It might be paid content. Boulette, is it there? The boulette. The boulette. There it is. Alright, let's go. Create. I don't want to do it from scratch. It's too much hard work. It's easier to actually go in there and just edit an existing template, provided that it's free and available. Not all of them will be, unfortunately. So boulette, we're just going to put here giant rat. What is it? It's a monstrous rat. Monstrous rat. Monstrous rat. And this is version 1 of my monstrous rat. I might come back later on and add a few other things to it. It's a monstrosity. Large, I feel, is simply too small. We're going to go with huge or gargantuan. Huge or gargantuan. Go with huge. Alignment. Unaligned, or do I give it an alignment? I feel like neutral. Neutral. We'll just go with neutral. I want to actually change the challenge rating on this thing, but I won't for now because that actually is, it's a little fiddly when you start changing the challenge rating on anything, it can cause some hassles. So we'll skip that. And this thing has a standing leap, the boulette. I don't really want a standing leap for my rat, but I want a quick scuttle. We'll call it a quick scuttle. Where are we? Quick scuttle. Quick scuttle. Quick scuttle. And this is the, no, we'll ditch this section here. And we'll go in monstrous rat. The monstrous rat's quick scuttle. Scuttle is up to, I feel like it should be very, very fast. So what I'm going to do is, instead of it being 30 feet, I'm going to go with increasing that so that it can sort of do a lot more. So we'll go with 50 feet, and its high jump is now up to 10 feet. I think we're going to go with 10 feet. So there's a little bit of a jump involved if we want. It's big enough it should be able to jump over things, right? Okay. With or without a running start? No. With a running start. We want a with a running start. With a running start. Okay, it's got a bite. I'm not going to change the bite. Deadly leap. Yeah, no, it's not really what we're after. What I think we're going to do is we're going to ditch that whole section there. I'm going to put something else in there sometime. I'm probably going to pull out like a diseased breath at some point, but I'm going to take that out and make it a little bit simpler. And it doesn't have to be a legendary creature, but there's a section for adding legendary actions and descriptions. Reactions, no, we won't worry about adding any reactions to it. And then we'll scroll on down here. Lair actions, no, don't worry about that. Monster characteristics and descriptions. Well, I feel like I should add something to this section. The monstrous rat is covered in filth, dirt, maybe dirt, and do I want pus or do I want disease? Boils? Sounds really icky. We'll say pus. It's brown with long pink tail. All right. I can come back and add more to that if I want to. And then we're not going to worry about adding lair or legendary actions. Its armor class is here. I can adjust that down. I feel like 16 is probably better than the 17. And because I'm only adjusting it by 1, I don't have to change the challenge rating. If I adjusted it by 2, I would have to drop the challenge rating down. Hit points, die count, no, we won't worry about that. We're going to adjust that. Got some hit points, got an average here, and its abilities are already figured out for me. And then I can save. It has some sensors already. I'm going to have a look at the sensors in a second. So languages, I'm not giving it a language. It doesn't need to speak. It would be just sort of silly. Why would you have something speaking? That's a rat. But it has dark vision and tremor sense. I don't feel like tremor sense is sensible, so I'm going to take that out, so I'll delete that. Yeah, I'm deleting that. Yep, it's gone. Alright, so it's just got dark vision now. And I could add something like a scent to it if I wanted. It's got a skill. Let's have a look at the skill. Perception. I feel like perception is probably sensible. I think most creatures really should have perception at some point. And then we'll go have a look at movement. It can walk and it can burrow. No, I don't feel like burrowing is sensible, so I'm going to take out the burrow. And we'll submit that. Okay, not too bad. We've got most of that all sorted, and we can save the changes. I can go through basic information later. And that's my new monster. I can go to my content. I should be able to go to my content and see my new monster, my monstrous rat that I've created. Cone of cold. Oops. We'll get rid of that. We'll go here and you can open this. And I'm going to delete the copy of the cone of cold. And delete. But my monstrous rat is here, and I should be able to pull up a stat block for it. So very, very simple. So you can do this stuff yourself. It's not very hard to do. You can add in stuff, you can adjust it. Can I print it out? And I guess that's the question, eh? Well, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think you can probably screen capture this and then print it out. I think that's going to be an issue whatsoever. Alright, we'll go back here. And I'm going to wrap it up here. There's no more questions coming through the chat, so I figure everybody is sort of happy with what I presented today. And yeah, we'll call it quits for today, and I'll come back some other time. And we'll check on, I don't know, maybe the character builder, maybe something else. And yeah, that is the D&D Beyond website and its uses. Alright, so let's just have a quick look at what's going on here. For the 7 of you who are watching, thank you, or 6 of you who are watching, thank you for coming, and we'll be back tomorrow. I'm probably going to do I'm probably going to do something around character creation with D&D Beyond, or I will do something around monsters. I feel like I should do some more monster videos, get the miniatures out, get the maps out, do some tactic videos. There are a couple of other videos I had planned to do. They might show up, so we'll see how things go. And yeah, that is it. We'll close it off.